What if the greatest treasure in anime history is not gold, not a weapon, and not even a physical object at all? What if Oda has been hiding the answer in plain sight for over 25 years, and most fans have been looking in completely the wrong direction? Welcome to One Piece Uncovered. Today we are diving deep into one of the biggest unsolved mysteries in manga history. What exactly is the One Piece? Not the show. The treasure. The thing that Goldie Roger died laughing about. The thing that has sent thousands of pirates to their deaths. The thing that Luffy has dedicated his entire life to finding. We are going to break down every major theory, look at the clues Oda has scattered across the story, and by the end of this video, you might walk away genuinely convinced you know the answer. Let us start with the facts, because there are not many of them, and that is the point. Roger reached Laugh Tale. He found the One Piece. And then he turned himself into the Marines and let them execute him. Before he died, he told the world that his treasure was real, and that anyone who found it could have it. That single statement started the Great Pirate Era. Now here is what makes this strange. Roger was the most powerful pirate who ever lived. He had everything. Power, crew, freedom, legacy. And yet when he found the One Piece, he laughed. Not because he was disappointed. Whitebeard confirmed that Roger cried at Laugh Tale. He laughed because of what it meant. What he found there changed his entire perspective on the world. That reaction alone tells us so much. The One Piece is not just a pile of gold. You do not cry over gold. You do not laugh like that over a weapon. Whatever it is deeply tied to history, emotion, and truth. This is where it gets interesting. The Void Century is a 100-year period of history that the world government has completely erased. They made it illegal to research it. They destroyed the people who knew about it. The Poneglyphs exist specifically because the ancient civilization that created them knew their history would be wiped out, so they wrote it in stone that could not be destroyed. Roger could read the Poneglyphs. That is how he reached Laugh Tale. He was not just following a treasure map. He was following a history lesson, a story written in stone by people who died to make sure it survived. So ask yourself this. Why would the world government be so terrified of people finding a treasure chest? They would not. But they would be absolutely terrified of people finding the truth. The truth about what happened during the Void Century. The truth about how the world government actually came to power. The truth about what Joy Boy promised, and why he failed to keep that promise. The One Piece is almost certainly connected to all of this, and that is exactly why finding it means more than just becoming king of the pirates. Now stick with us here, because this next part hits different when you put all the pieces together. Joy Boy was a figure from the Void Century who made a promise to the people of Fishman Island and could not keep it. He left an apology on the Poneglyph at Fishman Island. Nico Robin read it and said the apology was written with what felt like genuine remorse and even humor. Sound familiar? Joy Boy sounds a lot like someone who laughs in the face of impossibility. Sound like anyone we know? Zunesha, the massive elephant that carries Zu on its back, has been walking the seas for centuries as punishment. When Luffy awakened his devil fruit, Zunesha said it heard the drums of liberation. The same sound it had not heard since Joy Boy. Kaido himself, one of the strongest creatures alive, looked at Luffy and said, Luffy was not Joy Boy either. Not yet. Oda is telling us directly that Joy Boy is not a single person. It is a title, a role, a responsibility. And the One Piece may be the proof that whoever carries that role has finally returned to fulfill the promise Joy Boy could not. Now here is the part that should make you stop and think, because we have not yet touched on the theory that actually explains what the physical treasure might be. And it connects directly to something Whitebeard said in his final moments at Marineford. Before he died, Whitebeard stood on that battlefield with dozens of wounds and declared to the entire world that the One Piece is real. He did not say where it was. He did not say what it was. But he said it was real. And the way he said it suggested he knew more than he was letting on. Whitebeard was Roger's rival. They had a long conversation before Roger's death. Roger told Whitebeard things. Things that Whitebeard carried with him until his final breath. Whitebeard also said that someone would eventually find the One Piece and shake the world to its core. He called that person the one who would inherit Roger's will. He was not talking about becoming the strongest. He was talking about revolution, about tearing down the current world order. That lines up perfectly with what the Five Elders and Emu are so desperate to prevent. They do not fear a strong pirate. They fear someone who knows the truth and has the power to make the world believe it. So here is where we give you the theory that makes the most sense given everything Oda has built. The One Piece is a collection of everything Roger left behind on Laugh Tale. But the most important part of it is a recorded history. The complete truth of the Void Century. Who Joy Boy was. What the Ancient Kingdom was. How the world government came to power. What they destroyed to get there. And what Joy Boy intended for the world. Think of it like a time capsule. Left specifically for someone who could understand it. Someone who carries the will of D. When Luffy finds it, he will not just get a crown. He will get the knowledge to free the world. Not by conquering it, but by telling everyone the truth. Because you cannot control people who know the truth. Some fans also believe the One Piece includes the ancient weapons blueprints, the road Poneglyphs as proof of the journey, and possibly a letter from Roger himself, addressed to whoever made it that far. But the treasure is the truth. And the truth, in the world of One Piece, is the most dangerous thing that exists. Oda has said the ending of One Piece will be a massive shock. Not sad, but surprising. Something that will divide fans and spark conversation for years. If the One Piece is purely physical treasure, that is not a shocking ending. That is just an adventure story wrapping up. But if Luffy finds the truth of the world, broadcasts it to everyone, and in doing so dismantles the world government without a single punch, that is a One Piece ending. That is the ending of a story that was always about freedom over power, truth over control, and friendship over everything. Luffy never wanted to rule the world. He wanted to be free. And he wanted everyone else to be free too. That has been the theme since Chapter 1. The One Piece will not make Luffy a king who sits on a throne. It will make him the person who finally opens the door that the world government has kept locked for 800 years. Oda has been building this for over 2 decades. Every poneglyph, every D initial, every mention of the Void Century, every tear Roger cried on Laugh Tale, it all points to the same thing. The One Piece is not just treasure. It is the answer to why the world is the way it is, and the key to making it something better. And somewhere out there, a guy in a straw hat with a rubber body and zero sense of direction is going to find it. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit the like button and subscribe to One Piece Uncovered for more deep dives just like this one. We go where the poneglyphs lead, and before you go, leave your answer in the comments. What do you think the One Piece actually is? Is it the truth of the Void Century, a physical treasure, or something we have not even considered yet? Let us know. The best theory gets pinned.